Top of 24, we're gonna read this quick, okay? Johnny came back then and sat down beside me. He looked around for Dally, then managed a shy hi to the girls and tried to watch the movie. He was nervous though. Johnny was always nervous around strangers. Cherry looked at him, sizing him up as she had me. Then she smiled softly, and I know she had sized him up right. Dally came striding back with an armful of Cokes. He handed one to each of the girls and sat down beside Cherry. This might cool you off. She gave him an incredulous look, and then she threw her Coke in his face. That might cool you off, greaser. After you wash your mouth and learn to talk decent, I might cool off too. Dally wiped the Coke off his face with his sleeve and smiled dangerously. If I had been Cherry, I would have beat it out of there. I knew that smile. Fiery, huh? Well, that's the way I like them. He started to put his arm around her, but Johnny reached over and stopped him. Leave her alone, Dally. Huh? Dally was taken off guard. He stared at Johnny in disbelief. Johnny couldn't say boo to a goose. Johnny gulped, got a little pale, but he said, you heard me. Leave her alone. Dallas scowled for a second. If it had been me or Two-Bit or Soda or Steve or anyone but Johnny, Dally would have flattened him without a moment's hesitation. You didn't tell Dallas Winston what to do. Okay, so I read this page. All right, we've gotten to know Johnny. First chapter, Ponyboy keeps saying, man, that Johnny got it bad. Johnny's the weakest of all of us. All right, Johnny stands up in the scene. Johnny stands up in the scene to the one person you don't stand up to. He stands up to Dally. An unexpected thing. He acts out of character. Okay, and then he goes on to say, Ponyboy's narrating, and he says, Johnny can't say boo to a goose. What happened? Why did he stand up to Dally? Okay, so in this scene, we see somebody acting out of character. So what we're gonna do is a little chart like this. So the evidence we have of Johnny acting out of character, so Johnny acts out of character, can't spell, all right, is, he says, leave her alone, Dally. Okay, then, all right, I'm thinking, that's out of character. How is this out of character? Normally, Johnny is the weakest one.
He's shy.
He's shy, thank you for sharing that out. Shy, doesn't speak up.
Do we have to give you like an example?
No, we're good, hold on. Well, that's horrible. Okay, so the next thing I do, our minds start thinking, why? Why is he acting out of character? Okay, so what I'm thinking is in this scene, all right, he sees Marcia and Charlie's like, oh, they're nice looking girls, they're pretty. All right, so maybe he's like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna impress them. I see that Dally's annoying them, oh, I'm gonna impress them. So for me, my inference would be, he's doing it to impress Marcia and thank you, and Cherry. Marca. Okay. Okay.
So I was not knowing the book, but just hearing the scene, but then sort of you guys give me some background on these characters. This was absolutely the first thing I thought of. He's trying to like be big man on campus. Maybe he likes Cherry and he's like trying to impress her. This is the thing. When you do work like this is going to be your first answer, and it's an important one. But you always want to be asking yourself, and what else? Be in awe of the text and ask yourself, well, this is the most obvious, at least for somebody who doesn't know the book well. Yeah, he's just trying to make points for these girls.
So can we have them turn and talk right now about other reasons?
No, I want us to think aloud. So in the I Do, the teacher, she's doing a great job because you guys wanted to enter in, and she's like, no, I'm doing the thinking now. In the I Do part of the lesson, when you come here and she's demonstrating, she's just sharing her thinking. So let's just chew on this a bit. Well, I mean, I have to think about it. So what other reasons might we do that? So I'm trying to share my thinking as though I'm like opening up my head and thinking about it.
So maybe Johnny has had years of feeling oppressed and wants to actually speak up.
Right, so maybe he's, the straw that broke the camel's back, like maybe he's had enough of feeling like the low man on the totem pole, and now he's going to have a shift, so a shift in behavior, because he's sort of, I'll write the word tired, not physically tired, of being sort of powerless. He's kind of, in that moment, he sees this young woman who he thinks Dally is kind of disrespecting. And he's like, you know what? I'm tired of being the lame, powerless person. I'm gonna take the power. And you know what this reminds me of, Danielle? It reminds me of, you know that chart we have about issues that are common in stories?
Yes.
And remember there's like two things that all stories are about? I'm thinking about Johnny right here. All stories are about change, how do people change, and who has the power.
Yep.
And I'm sort of thinking that that's one, that this could be one, and this is another reason.
Okay. So listen up.
So in the Think Aloud, so I'm just for your information, when your teacher does a lesson, there's 3 parts to it. The I do, that's when the teacher does the Think Aloud. You're just holding your questions for that part. Then there's the we do. That's when you do that work with your partner and your teacher's just listening in on your thinking and highlighting smart thinking. And then the last is the you do. That's where she might ask you to do that work in your independent reading book or with another short story or in another chapter of the book. So it's, I'm going to share my cognitive strategies with you. You don't really say much of anything. Here you work with your partner. She listens in and highlights smart thinking. And then you're on your own to see, can you transfer the skills? Just like if you're playing soccer or say basketball, and a coach shows you some way, what to do a successful foul shot. And then they sort of get you doing a drill and they're watching you. That's the we do, and they're sort of coaching into that. And in the game, this is the game. Where you're on the game, you're on your own. The coach really can't do it. They can yell from the sidelines, they really can't do anything. That's the way that sort of a really powerful teaching is structured. So the more you know that's why it's structured this way, the better you'll learn. Yeah. Sorry. Good.
So now we're on to turn to page 32. Turn to page 32. Okay, so we are going to start, second paragraph down, where it says, we were used to seeing Johnny banged up. Okay, ready? We were used to seeing Johnny